Yeah, love to see it. And you know what else I love to see? Is our guest, Cade Denton.
Hello, hello.
Welcome aboard. How you doing?
I'm good. How about you guys?
We're good. We just got
Great. Thanks
done.
for joining us.
No
Yeah, thank
problem.
you. We just got done talking about you and all of your 21 new closest friends.
Yeah.
Um, so, what's your take on the Rockies draft?
I mean, I like it. I've got to meet a lot of these guys, be around them for a few days. Everybody's amazing. You sit around and you kind of wonder what the group's going to be like, and you see their skill in college and stuff like that. But obviously, getting to know them as people is the perspective I get to see on it. So, a lot of great guys, and obviously, I know there's a lot of talent too. So, I think it was a good draft on their part.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
some we were interested in because baseball is one of those crazy things in life where you know someone when you're 13, 14 years old and you cross paths again 5 years later. Was there anything sort of like that, like anyone on this draft class that you knew personally, whether it was just as a competitor or someone that you actually got to know off the field a little bit before the draft?
Yeah, so ironically, one of the free agent signings is actually my roommate, Braden Carmichael. He pitched at Oklahoma, and we both played for the same travel ball organization back a few years. He was a few years older than me, but we both grew up in the same area, played for the same travel ball team, and then he pitched against us in a lot of the midweeks that we played against him. So he's my roommate now, and we're catch partners. So I guess that all worked out in that way.
just full circle there.
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
What up, Braden? How you doing? Um, that's awesome. That just yeah, full circle moment right there. What have you've been down in Arizona this week? You were telling me your days are pretty booked throughout the day. What is this like first week? Welcome to Colorado, but in Arizona, really been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, we got here on Saturday, did physical Sunday. We've been having a lot of meetings recently, meeting with all the staff, making sure that we know everybody, making sure that they know all of us. They've done their research on all of us, so they know us all pretty well. And I guess it's just getting to know them now. They're telling us about the program, what the plans are, how everything's going to work around there. And man, it's been enjoyable. We've got a few days of work in now. We played catch, did some drills and stuff like that the past few days. But I mean, lots of meetings, lots of getting to know people, lots of information to take in. But it's been pretty good so far.
But so speaking of plans, you now enter pro ball, you got this kind of grind ahead of you. Where do you feel like you have the most room to improve? Because I think this whole last week we've heard Cade Denton. There's a lot of really positive things to say. I think at this point everybody knows what you're bringing to the table. What are you hoping to eventually bring to the table and improve on?
I mean, I think the third pitch. I mean, I'm sure you guys know I was mainly a two pitch guy in college, through splitters slash changeups like 21 times on the year. So wasn't a pitch that I necessarily needed to throw. Um, I mean, two pitches worked really well for me, and I think going into the next level, at least, whether it be out of the bullpen or whether it be as a starter, I think the third pitch is a key factor to a lot of success for a lot of guys, and I think that includes me. I know my other two pitches are good, but these guys are really good that I'm going to be facing over the next few years, and I think just that third pitch is something, especially with the pitch design and development and video and all this analytical stuff that I think I can get into, and I think it's something that can improve my game, and can improve my knowledge of the game as well too.
Which what third pitch are you wanting to add?
I mean, as of like midway through the college season, I transferred from like the splitter or from the changeup to the splitter.
Okay.
So that was the primary third pitch that I was throwing most of the year. Going into the playoffs, I threw it more than I did prior, just because some guys needed a different look, and a lot of these guys had seen fastball slider, and you can kind of 50-50 chance it sometimes, and
Hmm.
that third pitch was something that helped me out, to at least get a new look to these guys, whether or not they swung at it or not. But it's been a pitch that has been successful. I don't think any hits got hit off of it out of the 21 times that I ended up throwing it on the year, but I think it's something that I can definitely add to the arsenal and help me out a lot in the future.
Yeah.
Well, and so I got to throw this out there because yeah, I threw 21 changeup slash split on the season. You know how many swings and misses that you got on that pitch?
I'd say it's probably like maybe 10, 8, 9, 10, maybe
So
a little less.
yeah, you got 4, but you only got 6 swings on it the whole year. So 4 out of 6
Yeah,
times they just whiff that thing. So
yeah,
it's a promising start. So
yeah.
we like to hear
It's
that's in the
definitely a
works.
work in progress for sure. Yeah, it's not something that I'm sitting here claiming is going to be my best pitch anytime soon, but it's something that like at the times that I did get to throw it, it was probably one time, and then I didn't get to throw it for another 7 games or something like that. So it was one of those pitches that we threw out there just because either we're up 15 or something like that, or it's a pitch that a guy needs a new look on. So I'm excited to get with a group of people and get a new perspectives on all this stuff and see what I can do with it.
Yeah, on that. So we were kind of talking about it earlier that colleges are using their pitchers to win games, not really development for the pros. And you're sitting here saying you have this third pitch, you kind of switched it up, blah blah blah. Was there ever a combination of that as you were going through the year? Like I'm sure I listened to one of your interviews, a quick 2 minute one with the local broadcast there in Tulsa about just the process, like when you started figuring out like you're going to get drafted and when you're going to get drafted and that kind of stuff. It started becoming a reality this year.
Mm.
um was that ever like a connection, like a combo of those two things, like Oral Roberts needs to win, we're going to make the College World Series, we're going to do work, but we also want Cade Denton to be a dog, and let's work with him in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the main goal of a guy in college is to go out and win games. I think that's the main goal of everybody, whether or not their aspirations are pro baseball or not. You could ask any of these guys. You could ask any of the top 10 draft prospects and any of the top 10 picks, and they'd say the most important thing to them in that moment was to go out and win baseball games. But yes, I mean, obviously preparing for the next step is a part of that process, and you can't go into it completely cold turkey. So I think that was one of the reasons that we started implementing that third pitch into the arsenal a little bit towards the end of the year. Is not only because the competition increased and the competition becomes so much better in the College World Series, but it's a pitch that I need to have if I'm going to compete at the next level. Um,
Yeah.
and it was just one of those little developmental steps to the next process of me being where I need to be to compete at the pro level.
Are you excited about that developmental, like actually now being able to focus on that? Because I mean, winning's cool and winning's is fun, but right now that's not really your goal,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, and it's such a weird concept. We've talked to
Mm-hmm.
many guys about this concept. Like, you want to win, you want to go out there and win for the team, but at the same time, you got to work on you and develop you. Are you kind of excited for that though? Like, I get 100% go all in on your development and going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not sure how much I can comment on it, but there's a lot of new stuff coming to the facility here within the next few months and the next upcoming months, especially on the pitching side of things. So there's a lot that I'm excited in the pitch development side of things. When it comes down to it, that's kind of the next step for a lot of these guys is cleaning up the little mechanical quirks and obviously improving the stuff because if you want to compete at this level, you got to have good stuff. You got to be able to throw it for strikes too. But I think for me, being able to have access to all these different things like the TrackMan, the Edgertronic slow motion cameras, all this
Mhm.
data, video, all that sort of stuff is, I think, the most exciting part for me because coming from a mid major program, my first 2 years, we didn't have really anything. We had a few little pitch tracking gizmos and gadgets, but this year we got introduced to TrackMan at our facility, and I utilized it to the best of my ability, and it gave me the opportunity to go out and be the best version of me that I could at the place that I was at.
Mhm.
And I think having access to the staff, having access to the technology, having access to the facilities here is something that really does excite me and excites a lot of the other guys because some of them didn't have access to any of that stuff at the college level or even the high school level. So it's exciting.
Well, and so besides Braden, because obviously you've known him for a bit, any of those guys already in Arizona that you've been kind of bouncing ideas off of, learning some things. You got some really incredible talent. We think this was one of the best Rockies drafts from the pitching standpoint in years. So, has there been a guy you've really talked to a lot so far, trying to pick something up, or anything like that?
I think as time goes on, I'll get a little bit more into the picking of brains. I think right now we're all kind of overwhelmed a little bit with all the
Yeah.
names, all the faces, all that stuff. But I've been talking with Chase Dolander a lot. Me and him, Cole Carrig, and Seth Halverson all had our MRIs, did all that stuff together. So I think the first 2 days we were hanging out a lot with each other because everything that we did was slightly delayed compared to everybody else.
Mhm.
So a lot of those guys I've been hanging around with a lot. There's actually another guy that I forgot to mention, Ben McCabe, the catcher from UCF. He was my catcher in summer ball in 2021 with the
Oh,
Wausau Woodchucks in the Northwoods League. So that's the guy that I've thrown to before. Thrown to him a few times, know him, and as soon as I saw that name come up, obviously I knew I was excited to throw to him again. And that's a great kid, great catcher, great hitter, someone that I'm excited to be around. And obviously, it's a guy that has a little bit of familiarity with me, and I'm excited to do anything and everything I can to get these guys' brains in the future.
Yeah, that's sweet. You mentioned it earlier. Are they the starting pitcher reliever? So, I mean, you were stopper of the year. You were voted pitcher of the year by the coaches in the Summit League. Where is this possible starting pitching thing coming from? Are they telling you anything, or what's happening with that?
They've kind of given me the option in a sense. There
Okay.
hasn't been a deciding factor in what it is that I'm going to do at this point yet. I think the push for me to possibly start was just the strike throwing that I had. I think I was like, I couldn't even tell you, it was high 60s in strike percentage, maybe touched 70 my sophomore year in the strike percentage category.
Hmm.
So it's never something that I've had struggles with. And I think that was something that a lot of teams ended up seeing is like, that's a possible trait in a starter that we could run or something like that. But I'm still kind of floating the decision right now on what I think is best for the program and best for the team.
Hmm.
And obviously what's best for me too. But like you said, I've had pretty successful years as a bullpen guy, so that's definitely a swing factor in a lot of it too. But
Yeah.
um, that third pitch is going to be kind of the kicker on whether or not I decide to stay in the bullpen or whether or not I think I want to start. So I'm excited for it whenever that decision does come. But I'm just ready to get to work with a lot of the bullpens here in the coming weeks to kind of play around a little bit and see what's working, what's not, and what I can work on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you got an open mind, but we just have to take a moment to appreciate a
Yeah.
125 ERA, your last two
Insane.
seasons at Oral Roberts in 107.2 innings. Like that is pretty gnarly. So we
Yeah, I
just gotta
appreciate
say,
it.
I mean, that
Yeah.
that speaks for itself. I think no matter what, things are gonna, the Rockies and us as fans should be very excited about that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
How did you come up with your windup?
Oh goodness. So so I came into college, wind up and stretch, both. Got thrown into the bullpen pretty quick. I kind of had a little bit of an awkward stretch set position. I was really like wide, almost like a defender in basketball stance out, hands up at the head, like really awkward. I was a really weird kid whenever I was pitching in high school. So I came in with that. Our pitching coach Wes Davis really wanted to fix that. So
Thanks, coach.
he primarily focused on me just going solely out of the stretch. And after we started doing that, it kind of it metamorphosized into what it is now. But a lot of it, I get preset in my back leg pretty hard. And I think that was just me being able to try and work as quick as possible to the plate because it gets you into the position that I needed to be in
Hmm.
to get hip drive, get the pelvic tilt, get all the basically any position I needed to get in. I felt like I could get into it a lot easier from where I was with the back knee bent and the front leg out just a little bit further. But it's evolved whenever I first got to school because if I sent you guys some pictures of some video of me in high school, you would have no idea that it was the same guy that I am right now. It is completely different, and I'm sure it'll evolve from what it is right now into something maybe slightly different in the coming years. But I will say I'm glad that our coach decided to not let me pitch like that anymore.
Yeah, the origin story of Cade Denton, like that's awesome. I was wondering like how people get up there because like if I get on a mound, like I'm way too old to do anything cool on it, but I'm very traditional in it, and like I just do
Yeah.
what's natural, and then as you're saying, like all right, so you're kind of being coached out of your goofiness, but it's probably more natural now, and just getting into it.
Hmm.
It's just fun to ask. Also talking about me, right? Baseball experiences. Grew up in Nebraska. Went to the CWS all the time. It was my favorite thing every single summer. I still miss it as an adult. I got Rosenblatt Stadium seats in the backyard right now. Like I love that thing. It was always fantastic. Went to so many games.
Absolutely.
What was it like for you? And I love asking the guys that come on, like, what was that experience for you? Especially like from Oral Roberts, like you're a mid-major coming to 20, 30, 40,000 fans for that 2 weeks. Like crazy?
Yeah. I mean, so coming from high school to college, never did I think I would be given the opportunity to play Division 1 baseball, first of all. I came out of high school like 83, 85, like didn't throw hard, had good I was a good pitcher. I threw lots of strikes, did really well for our travel ball.
Oh,
Oh,
nope, you're back.
there we go. Where did I get cut off at?
Travel ball, good
Yeah.
pitcher, but yeah,
Yeah, so I was a good pitcher, but never was the dominant guy, top prospect that I thought I'd get a chance to play Division 1 baseball. I had a D3 offer and another D3 offer in Texas, but I came into it just being like, man, it's a good baseball program. I'm excited. I got the walk-on spot there. I was looking forward to just getting the opportunity to learn from a lot of these guys and watch good baseball. I mean, I didn't think in any way, shape, or form I was going to be a top reliever at the end of my college career or anything like that. But getting there the first day into what is it, Charles Schwab now,
yeah.
getting into Charles Schwab and just like standing in the tunnel, looking out at the outfield and seeing this just amazing stadium because we played at University of Nebraska at Omaha as a part of our conference. So we've seen the stadium from the outside, never been
Yeah.
inside. But like I just stood there for a little bit, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I sat there and I almost teared up. Like
Yeah.
it's something that every kid dreams of, and not every kid thinks that they're ever gonna make it there. But actually getting to be there and realizing I'm about to play some of the best college baseball teams in the nation and be one of the best college baseball teams in the nation, it hit me hard. But pitching in front of 25,000 fans, I will say, is a little bit nerve wracking for the first time. But it's something that I settled into after a little bit of a rough eighth inning against TCU. But it was definitely something that I'm glad I got to experience before the whole
Yeah.
pro ball scene.
Yeah, it definitely is going to help that transition to kind of what you're going into because you now know what, like, so to speak, the lights are like.
Yeah.
And just the whole environment of that whole tournament is insane, and let
Mm-hmm.
alone playing, especially against TCU. Like TCU has a nice little following in Omaha too.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not my favorite fan base out there, but they show up and they show out.
Yeah.
What being in the arm barn out there, the bullpen, you got to hear the outfield chants. Those are always my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
What was some of the more memorable, more fun ones that you enjoyed, just like as a fan in
Yeah.
aspect?
I mean, there's the classic left field sucks, right field sucks
Yeah.
chant. That got started a few times, especially in the Florida game. The afternoon games are a little bit less rowdy, but I will say I didn't hear too many like chirps at the bullpen or anything like that, or chants or anything in the World Series, just because it seemed like we were almost a fan favorite.
Yeah.
But I will say, in the Super Regional in Eugene, there was some pretty bad ones out there. We played at LSU my freshman year and played at Ole Miss my sophomore year, and I think the Super Regional in Oregon had some of the gnarliest chants out of all of them. I mean, they were calling our left fielder a bum. They were talking about like his sister and all this sort of stuff, and we're sitting here and just cracking up at the bullpen because he'd turn around and look at him and start raising his arms and asking for more, and that's the type of guy that he was. So Omaha was pretty calm in a sense, but when you get out on the mound, it was a little bit different. You hear a few people chirping at you, and
Yeah.
I mean, as much as you want to say you don't hear the crowd, you hear them and you kind of laugh at it a little bit whenever you're out there.
Yeah, there's always ones that's going to stand out. There was somebody else that was talking about Eugene the same way. I can't
I
remember who
think
it
it was
was.
Braden Ward. I was going to throw that out there.
Was
I
it
think
Ward?
I think he had stuff to say against other. I think
Yes.
Oregon State was the program he was like. They said
Yeah.
some things that crossed the line a little bit. So I
No,
don't know what's going on in Oregon, but
yeah,
they're crazy.
they're pretty rowdy. I'd consider them more football fans than baseball fans, but they come out there and they'll let you have it for sure. I mean, if you got one little thing messed up on your uniform, they're letting you hear it the whole game.
Oregon, man. It's just built different out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Won't take up too much of your time. I want to end with some fun questions, some fan questions.
Gotcha.
We put some out there. And then I have a Rockies trivia to end it.
Oh
So
goodness.
if you need to call in the reinforcements, feel free to do that.
Gotcha.
But this one is from a listener of the pod, a good guy, OG for us, Skylar. What was the Northwoods League like, especially compared to Oral Roberts? So you kind of already talked about it, playing with McCabe there. I'm in West Michigan, so I have Kalamazoo right below me. I have the Pit Spitters right above me, Battle Creek and stuff. But like, what was kind of that experience in the Northwoods League like?
Man, that was something that I'll never forget for sure. So I played there my summer after my freshman year and the summer going into my junior year. Both played for the Wausau Woodchucks both times. My host families were amazing. That was probably the greatest part about the whole thing. Obviously, the baseball's fun, but I had an amazing host family my last year. They still support me. They watch all of my games. They're gonna come out to Arizona at some point for spring training, and like that's something that a lifelong friendship that I'll never forget, and they'll always be around. But the baseball, I mean, there's some good talent out there. Steve Foster is actually one of the directors of pitching here, and obviously he was the big league pitching coach for the Rockies. He lives out in Wausau, so he got to watch me play. Got to watch me play out there this summer, and it was pretty interesting because I had no clue that until he told me after the draft. He was like, "Yeah, I live out there in Wausau." And I was like, "What? That I don't think there's more than that many people that live there in the first place." But lots of baseball. I'll say that you play every day. There's 72 games. I'm only out there for half a season, but like it's about as close as you can get to pro ball without being in pro ball. So I'd say if someone's looking for the pro ball experience in college, go play up in the Northwoods League.
Yeah, it's a fun league. I haven't gotten to one yet, but it's on TV. It's got ESPN Plus's coverage of it now, and it's all over the place. It's definitely one of the top 2 summer ball leagues there. Another one from a friend of the pod, Jackie. Who are you most excited to face? Whether it's a teammate now, like, are you excited to face one of your Oral Roberts teammates, like, down the line? It's really hard to put in there, but like maybe who's like the one major leaguer that you're hoping still there that you could strike out.
Oh goodness! So starting off with a former teammate, Jonah Cox, got drafted by the Oakland Athletics, and I'm pretty sure at some point, depending on how long we're here, that I think we have a game against them. I mean, I don't know if I'll be pitching in the complex or not, or if they'll send me out, or what's going to go on. But that's some guy. That's a guy I faced in our inter squad games in the fall, and he only got better from that point on. So he was a tough at bat then. So I can't imagine what it was like now. So it's a guy I'm excited to face. But man, I'd say if you brought me up to the big leagues right now, I'd want to face Mookie Betts. Obviously, that's a guy that I feel like not a lot of people like would pick on that list, but I think that's one of the toughest at bats right now in the bigs. Obviously, behind Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge and those guys, but like Mookie's been a solid guy for quite a few years now, and that's someone that I've watched on TV in the playoffs for forever, and that's a guy that I think would be exciting, especially being a divisional rival, to go out and face. And I mean, whether it be it's Coors or whether it be in LA, that's definitely a person that I'd want to get to at some point.
Yeah, he just gets his bat on everything. I'm trying to remember who he was facing most recently that I saw. I think it was Kodai Senga with the Mets.
Yeah.
He threw a fastball. I think it was like just off the plate, and Mookie hits it opposite field for a homer. I was like, are you kidding me? Like a mid-90s fastball is just getting pieced out to right field. But also, if you face Jonah Cox in the complex, would we see triple digits? Would you be that amped up? I'm blazing it right now.
I'm definitely going to pitch him inside. That's the one thing I'm telling him. It's not in any way, shape, or form to intimidate him, but that's about the only place that you can beat the guy, and even then, he's almost impossible to beat there too. So he's probably one of the toughest at bats, and I mean, in all of the college games I played this season in inter squads, that was probably the toughest at bat I had. And obviously, his statistics said that. I mean, he got a hit in 60 out of 62 games on the year.
Yeah,
I mean, almost had one of the longest hitting streaks in college baseball history. So that guy definitely has some good bat to ball skills, and he was pretty annoying to face then. So I'd be excited to face him now.
Well, and then also he was drafted 6 spots ahead of you. So like I think there's a little bit of headbutting there that needs to happen. Like it should have been me.
I'm happy for him, man. That's a pretty cool story. I mean, his dad actually played for the Rockies. Darren Cox, I believe, is his name. So he was a Rocky back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty interesting. I got a lot of former coaches, friends, dads, and stuff like that who ended up playing for the Rockies. Chu Freeman was actually my high school coach way back in the day. He played in the outfield for the Rockies. Jonah Cox's dad. Blake Adams actually is up in Spokane right now. I ended up working a job with him down in Fayetteville, Arkansas over the off season. So I got to talk with him for a little bit. So I've made quite a few connections in this organization so far, and ones that I hadn't even thought about up until this point. So it was definitely exciting whenever I found out on draft day that I was going to be here.
That's awesome. That the more full circle stuff there. Like baseball is such a big world, but then it's still you get these little connections, and it's still super small in its own way. All right, Rockies trivia. So you have the people that you can reach out to, but let's see if they've taught you anything. So I got 3 questions. And you're young, so I don't know how that makes it a little bit more tougher too. So I'm going original here. Who are the Blake Street Bombers? There's 5 of them. I always like to get 5. So give me as much as you possibly can.
See, I know this is before my time.
Yeah.
And not. I know this is going to be a shot in the dark, but I'm going to throw it out there because I don't have any other names I can think of. It's not Piazza, is it? I don't think.
No,
I didn't think so. No. Man, I couldn't even tell you.
Okay, so do you know the one Rockies Hall of Famer?
Well, I know a future one, Todd Helton.
Yeah, hopefully next year. Things are directing that way. Larry Walker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yep. Larry Walker. Dante Bichette.
Okay, Bo Bichette's then.
Yep. Andres Galarraga. Big Cat. You'll probably get to meet this guy, Vinny Castilla. He's up there. He's probably in Denver right now. And then Ellis Burks is the 5th one.
That's one that I've heard the first ones. Ellis Burks is a new name to me for sure.
Okay, there you go. So keep that in your back pocket if you're
I will.
I don't know, doing something with the other guys there.
Will do.
So you're not going to know this one. So I'm not going to ask it. Who hit?
That's mean. Yeah, come on. I don't know. None of us know that.
Okay. So another nugget to add out there. Eric Young Sr. is the first person to hit a home run at Coors Field.
Okay, I actually did watch that highlight.
Okay.
I remember finding that highlight whenever I was doing just all sorts of Rocky stuff a few days after the draft, and I was looking back to the opening day game at Coors Field and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So you got that one there, and then you're a pitcher. So this one, hopefully, in your wheelhouse. Who's the only Colorado pitcher to throw a no-no in Rockies history?
Oh my gosh, the pressure, the lights—they're getting to me right now. I know the answer to this one.
You're gonna feel silly when I say it.
Was it a lefty?
Yeah.
Wait, was he a lefty?
No.
No. Yeah, he was not.
No, he wasn't lefty.
No. In my head, for some reason, Jamie Moyer was popping up, but it's not Jamie Moyer. Goofy windup.
43-year-old Jamie Moyer for the Rockies was not doing it.
No, I didn't think so. I mean, that
He ended
that
up
wouldn't be
going.
the craziest story I heard about him, though.
No, you
Man,
want it? You got to keep thinking.
give me a number.
Oh, the
I don't
jersey.
even know his number.
Let's see.
We'll get Mike on that.
Oh, is it
I can't think of a number.
Oh goodness, it's a weird name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
Is
one
it
of a
is it
kind name.
Jimenez?
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Okay,
We'll count
Ubaldo
it.
Jimenez, yeah.
Ubaldo
That is
Jimenez.
excellent.
Yes.
yeah.
Got to keep
The
that in there.
goofy
Yeah.
windup helped me out a little bit.
Yeah.
No, that's respectable because I feel like non-Rockies fans, he's a name that gets lost in the shuffle.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
one of those
for
people.
someone
Yeah,
your age. Like we're about the same age. He's a guy. The only reason I knew him is because I grew up in Denver. So otherwise, kind of one that's out there a little bit.
I will give you another little tidbit of information. So Trevor Story actually played, former Rocky, but he actually played for the same travel organization that me and Braden both played for. So growing up, I watched the Rockies because, honestly, this is bad to say, but solely because of Trevor Story and Nolan Arenado and all those guys. Because
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Carlos Gonzalez, Todd Helton was a Tennessee grad. My mom was a Tennessee fan, so he's been walking around the facility here and got to hear his speeches and stuff like that to some of the guys. So a few of those guys I watched because I was fans of them and in turn watched the Rockies, but there's not too much experience in the whole Rockies organization in my mind.
No, that's fair. Do you know the one Rocky who went to Oral Roberts?
Would it be Ryan Fulmer?
No.
No. Oh, he didn't go to ORU. He actually he got drafted out of Oklahoma State. He was our head coach for ORU. He got drafted out of Oklahoma State by the Rockies, I believe.
I did not know that.
Chichi Gonzalez.
Yeah.
There we
Yep.
go.
Yep.
Here, double check me on the Ryan Fulmer thing, but I'm pretty sure he ended up with the Rockies for a small amount, not the big leagues, but
Wait, how do you?
he's gonna Folmar. He's gonna kill me if I get this wrong.
Before playing professionally in the Colorado Rockies organization from 97 to 98.
Okay, so
Quick
I'm glad I was right about that. He would have killed me if I wasn't.
I guess he was drafted by the California Angels before the Anaheim Angels became Anaheim Angels.
46
so he ended up playing with him.
Yeah.
Played rookie ball.
I would say that the Rockies' knowledge there is not bad at all.
And, not bad. I know Chichi pretty well simply because our bullpen is the Chichi Gonzalez bullpen, and that's somebody that he donated our bullpen to the Oral Roberts University baseball team. So that's a guy that you definitely have to keep the name in the old noggin whenever I see him one day.
Yeah,
how could you ever forget? How could you ever forget such a name?
Yeah, it's a great name. It is a first round name for sure.
Love that. Cade, this was fun. I appreciate you popping on and just spending some time in your busy week, and just welcome to the organization. Just thank you for popping on to here and letting us share your little bit of story. And you're one of our guys now, so we'll do all the promoting and the gatekeeping for you as much as we can here on out. But just thanks, man.
Well, absolutely, guys. I appreciate it, and like I said, I'm just excited to be a part of the organization and contribute my small part to the whole system, and can't wait to one day be up at the bigs if everything works out the way I hope it does. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're watching, we're supporting. Go kill it, and enjoy this time. This has got to be some unforgettable stuff. So enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Thank you for watching and listening. Please check out our link tree for more content.